Three bodies, same town, during Holy Week.
The devil doesn't do evil. He just points it out.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, muito gusto.
It's so good to be here with you. Congratulations on the show When No One Sees Us. This is the first Spanish show in the history of Max, the streaming Max, which is like such a landmark. How does it feel for you to be part of such an important landmark for the streaming service and also for Spanish productions?
Really proud of being one of the first, and also because there is like a mix of cultures here. There is a culture shock that we're gonna see in the show. We're gonna see like both worlds, American and Spanish from Spain, and I think it's really interesting to see both culture together and how the traditions are and how that military world works.
As you mentioned, we have two different cultures in the show. And thanks to streaming services, all sorts of different cultures are being broadcasted to the world through streaming. And in this case, Spanish culture. How does it feel for you? How do you feel about streaming services? Do you think they are changing the game in the way we relate to stories? Because, for example, here in Brazil, Spanish shows, Turkish shows are very popular. Also, the South Korean shows are also extremely popular. So we see a shift in people's behavior in terms of how they relate with TV shows, because we are not only watching American shows, now we are watching all over the world shows. How does that feel for you?
Well, it's amazing. It's a very good opportunity for all the actors and the creators to have that global audience. And I think it's really important because the more we know about the world, the more we can empathize with people, the more we can understand their cultures and the traditions. We're going to be more lean on trying to get their point of view. And I think stream services are bringing us this opportunity of going further in what we believe. So I think it's really good. And the more the platforms understand that multicultural projects are important for humanity, I think it's gonna be the better. So I hope they continue doing this type of projects that they have mixed cultures, languages, and we as an audience can keep learning.
Amazing. And in terms of Magali, how was your biggest challenge in terms of preparation to leave her on the screen?
Oh my gosh, my biggest challenge was like to follow all the protocols, because you have to be really, on point of what they do. We had a consultant on set. I had two, a man and a female. And I think my biggest challenge was to try to portray her in the best way possible, because it's a huge responsibility to have a woman in that level in the US force. So to arrive at that level, you have to pass so many tests. You have to have, careers. You have to make people to respect you, especially men. So it was challenging to honor that, and also to be in a bridge of speaking in English and Spanish at the same time, the same day. It is difficult for an actor to just switch and jump and not be confused about like, what am I speaking right now, But I really enjoy it.
You were also mentioning about the language shift that is constant in the show. How does that work for you as an actor? Because obviously our language impacts a lot. Our language and our traditions from our country impacts a lot in the way we act. And I say that as like regular people on a daily basis. It already impacts us in our regular lives. How was that for you, to keep Magali being this strong female character, but also being able to deal with all of those changes in your mind with the language, and also being able to stay true to your performance as well?
Yeah, it is difficult. I had a lot of help. I had a dialect coach on set to help me understand, because of course I live in Los Angeles and this is my language the day to day, but the technical words and the, you know, how they speak in the military world is totally different from what you usually speak. So it was very, very challenging, and I speak other languages, and making a switch between them and being true to the character all the time without thinking about, like, oh my gosh, here it comes, this difficult word. You know, it's difficult, but I think a lot of preparation before, and try to just trust your instinct. And if something doesn't come. And the director was really calm, and he gave me the freedom of make mistakes. And if something happens, we just reshoot. You know, we just go and do it again, and that's it. So I wasn't nervous at all. I was just trying to. She's very like on point. She cannot be dubious about her ideas or what she wants to take from another person. So I didn't want to the audience see me in that way, that if I wasn't sure about what I was about to say. So if we were feeling that, we would go ahead and repeat it.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it has to be very natural. Everything needs to flow right on screen.
Yeah, it's you. Like, for example, when I got the role, she was from Chicago, and it was like a fully American character. And I talked to the director, and I was like, can we have more freedom of making her from, you know, she had like Latin background, but I was like, can she actually immigrate to United States and start her career there? And he was open to do that. And I think it's important because this, I think, makes the show even more international, because it's more like we're including all Latin America and people that immigrate to the United States and get into careers that Magali has. And there are many people that had those opportunities, and why not to portray them?
Nice. And I do think that When No One Sees Us has a little bit of True Detective to it, which I love, because True Detective is an iconic show, especially season 1, which is like one of the greatest HBO shows I have ever watched. What were your biggest references in terms of creating your character? Did you have like other references like TV shows, movies, iconic like investigative characters as well?
I didn't want to take from any other shows. How I work, usually I don't go and watch TV to get reference for a specific character. I go to the reality and I watch documentaries, and go to YouTube and watch, like, I watch all the Air Force's training for the new students, because I prefer to stick to the truth than something that someone else did, because I don't know if that person is making honor of what we want to do. So that's how I work usually. But I did see True Detective after all, because many people, when I was explaining what the show was about, they told me you should watch the last season of True Detective with Judy Foster. And I think it's really like they mix culture as well. It's a totally different story. But yeah, I watched it after I finished with the show. I didn't want to be influenced of other ideas.
I completely get it. And for fans, like obviously When No One Sees Us is based on a book. It's a very popular book as well. But like for those who have never heard about the book, for audiences like Brazil, who is going to be in touch with When No One Sees Us for the first time, what can the audiences expect from this show?
Mystery, crime, mix of culture, and a lot of very beautiful visuals, because we see in the Holy Week of a specific town in the south of Spain. And I don't think that's been portrayed in cinema or TV before, not that I've seen. And it's really interesting to understand the south of Spain culture in that Holy Week, how dedicated they are to their culture. It's really interesting. And as I was saying before, the contrast between the two cultures, American and Spain, and how they get into these investigations, and step by step and episode by episode, they unfold these mysteries and how all come together, even though they are two different cultures.
And how does the show honors the original book?
My character wasn't in the book. I wasn't allowed to read the book by the director because of my character. That wasn't, he didn't want me to be confused. But I think what is true to the show is the Holy Week. The character of Maribel Verdú, Lucia Gutierrez, the civil guard, and all this mystery between the drugs in the south of Spain. So yeah, I cannot say more about that because I don't know.
It's funny, huh? We think we're safe from everything when no one sees us. In fact, that's when we're most vulnerable.